Hi, it's Carol from Gay and the Lesbian here with Gay from Gay and the Lesbian.
Before I get started on today's video, which is about our drop slide, we are after some feedback from all of you. We're deciding on a tagline for Gay and the Lesbian, and we've come up with two so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read them out, and then the first one will be A. So A will be all female adventure travel reviews, and B is not your typical travel reviews. So let us know which one you think suits better for our tagline, so that we can explain what we do. So obviously we're all about camping and traveling and adventure. Now we need to define it a little bit, and we would like your help. Yep.
Perfect.
Well, don't make us beg, please.
Yeah. We don't want to have to come and visit you all door to door with our little notepad tickety-boo.
Yeah, so if you could just fill in the comments below, A or B, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay, the reason today's video is on the slide is we've gone from we had an Ironman fridge slide, which just came straight out, to a drop slide, a Clearview drop slide. The reason we swapped was two reasons. One is we put the canopy in, so we've reduced, obviously we can't open the fridge in there, so we need to bring it out. And then we needed the drop slide because we're both short, and I'm shorter and I use it more often.
Yes, and if we get the car lifted, it will be even higher up. Research. So we spent a fair bit of time doing research. We had choices to make of getting a tilt one or a drop down one. And at the end of the day, we looked at all the different various manufacturers that did them. And yeah, we decided on a drop down slide, and then we decided on a Clearview one. Now we go to the trade show.
So we head off to the trade show, and we went around to a few of we sort of narrowed it down to 2 to 3 people we were interested in, and the price point was about the same for all of them, I think. So we decided we'd go around, have a bit of a look at them. A couple of the ones I went to, the customer service was appalling. Clearview's was fantastic. They couldn't have been more help. They went through it, they showed us. We were interested in some of their other products. No problems going through it with us. They were really, really good. And that was the price point that got us, or the selling point that got us over the line. And promise of, I think it was going to be delivered within a week or two as well. So
yeah, it was not a long time frame between delivery, and we needed it in a short time frame because we were getting the canopy installed, and we wanted to have the fridge slide put in with the canopy. It was just cheaper and easier for us to do it that way.
Off to the trade show we'd been, and waiting. And then we were waiting for the delivery of our drop slide. Excited, feet pushed up against the window every day at the end of the day, no postie. So Gay ended up having to chase them up. I think you sent a few emails.
I sent one email, and it took a little bit of time, like more than a day or so, to get back to us, I think, from memory. Yeah.
And then eventually, ta-da. So I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks after
we
received it.
Yeah, it was starting to stress out because we were getting the canopy installed, and starting to stress out a bit that it hadn't been delivered, hadn't heard anything. And as soon as I contacted them, it was pretty much, I think, within a week and a half it had been delivered. So
just took a little bit of a nudge.
Yeah, we had to sort of give them a, hey, where is it? Understandably that they would have been busy after the show with all their orders, things like that. So, well, hopefully they were, if they sold a lot of products. So assuming that they sold a lot of products, they were busy with orders. So I understood that bit, left it a bit of time, but then, having to chase them up, I wasn't particularly, too keen on that. And now we come down to the installation. So it did arrive. The guys that installed the canopy, they installed the fridge slide too, which is pretty much just taking out of the box. And they made up some brackets for us, and so that we could lift it over the little lip that we've got in the canopy. So they lifted it up a bit, put it to as much to the side as they thought that they could. And yeah, and then that was it. Bob's your uncle, we had a drop-down fridge slide.
Exciting.
Yeah. Just one thing, we had our other fridge slide was in the back of an aluminium tray, all exposed. It was just an Ironman fridge slide, and we did go out and adventure quite a bit. It was in there, it was in another car to start with, and then we put it in this car, in Snowflake. And it had a lot of grit and dirt. It went to Birdsville, and all the stuff that flicks back up into the tray, it had a lot of, just grit and dirt, and it ran, but it wasn't smooth. You could sort of, as you pulled it out, you could hear all the sand and all the grit coming out of it, so, or squashing up as the ball bearings rolled over it. But it worked, so it just
we just used some silicone spray and it cleared it out.
Yeah.
It worked. Like longevity for what we put it through, it was great.
Yeah. Now we get to
the Clearview. So we took it on its first little camping trip. Now remember, it's in a sealed canopy. So we got up there, I think the first night it might have worked a little bit.
Yeah.
But not really that well. Felt like it was a lot to pull out, and we just thought because it was new and a bit, needed to be worn in a bit, trying to pull it out was a bit of a trick, and trying to drop it. We felt like we weren't getting it as low as we could have. By the end of the trip.
And it was hitting the side of the guards.
Yeah, and by the end of the trip, we basically couldn't lower it.
Yeah, it was just pull it out and that was it.
Yeah, and then we went away again.
Went away a couple of weeks later. We went away to Wills Bend, one of our favourite spots. And we went there, and then it was just, we couldn't hardly even pull it out. So that was just a bit of a nightmare. So, and then because obviously when you've got it inside, you could only lift the lid up so far. So, you know, you sort of had to slide your hand in, feel around, get what you wanted and come out again.
Or do like that, just open it and your eyes peer down.
So we were getting rather peeved at this time that we'd spent all this money on this product and that was having issues with it. I will say we did have one of the little nuts did come undone, and I had to fix that I think 2 or 3 times. So when we were doing basically, you know, city driving, we used it a couple of times, and I noticed on one time that the little nut was missing, and we got everything out and we put it back together and tightened it up, but that wasn't necessary. That wasn't the reason why it wasn't pulling out and wasn't dropping down. It had nothing to do with it. So I checked that over and over again, but that wasn't it. So getting the fridge slide fixed, it obviously wasn't working how it was supposed to work. So again, I sent off an email to Clearview, and again it was a little bit of time, but it was around that, you know, sort of January period where it's a lot of holidays, and I would imagine that they would have been working on limited staff. So we waited a little bit, and then eventually got an email back, and they said, can you fill out a warranty form? So Carol filled out the warranty form,
which was nice and easy. It was pretty simple to follow. I just had to upload a copy of the invoice from when we purchased it, and then just send it all through. So, and I got an email, just an automated email straight, I think back the next day, just saying that they'll be in contact with us in a short period of time.
In a short period of time.
Their short period of time, and mine's different, it turns out.
Yeah, so we didn't know how long. It's like a piece of string. How long is a piece of string? So off we went, and we waited and waited, and then I was getting a bit fed up. We were going away in not too future, so, and I wanted to make sure that we had it fixed. So I rang them, and I got put on hold for a little bit, and then I spoke to someone. I explained my issue, and then I was told that the person I needed to speak to was busy and they would ring back later that day. I'm still waiting for that phone call. and then I'd already sent off a couple other emails chasing it up, going where is it at and stuff, and didn't hear back anything. I rang again, and I got no answer this time, so I'm like, have they just up and left? I didn't know what had happened. So then it was like, right, we picked a day, and I drove, I think it was about 2 hours to get out to where Clearview is. Went out to Clearview first thing in the morning and got there, and I gave them I spoke to, well, there was nobody in the office to start with, and there was no one to speak to. Then eventually somebody came in and spoke to me and said, you know, what can I help you with? And I explained my situation. She said, I'll go off and find someone. Well, that took a little bit of time to find someone. Then they came in and they said, can you bring the car in? So I brought the car in, reversed it up, and they said, I can go and sit in the waiting room and have coffee and biscuits or what have you. And I said, no worries, thanks for that. And anyway, so they got to work and did their magic. And that was all fine. So they did their magic and they fixed it. So it's all working perfectly fine now. So thank you for that. And then Mike from Clearview, he was the one that worked on it and told me that it was too dirty. So we'd hardly used it, and I should get the air compressor out on it and clean it more often. Now I reckon that we could have wiped our finger over it and there was hardly anything on it, so I don't know, but that's all that he said. I don't know what happened or what they did to it to get it to work, but it works now. The second thing was, apart from it being dirty, which I still don't understand because it was in the canopy, and you know, we do leave it open when we're in, you know, some areas, but it wasn't overly dusty. And we do have a blower where we blow out the canopy at the end of some camping trips, so I wasn't too sure about all that. But then he said, next time don't come unless you ring. And I'm like, well, I did ring. And he goes, well, how many times did you ring? And I'm like, didn't know that there was more than one time I had to ring, but I said I rang twice, and one person said they'll call me back, and then the other person said I didn't even answer. So, and I'm like, well, I don't know how many times I'm supposed to ring to get an answer to, you know, because we want a working product, not something that's, you know, doesn't work. So anyway, he said, oh, well, next time keep ringing. So I suppose that's
Customer
what you...
service 101.
There, just keep ringing if you can't get through. And then their warranties, found out that their warranties were about 4 or 5 weeks behind, which I thought was a bit average. So, yeah, it's
That's probably across the board on all their products, in fairness.
Yeah, and it was a bit... They at least in the email they could have that. In an automated email you could say that we're running behind. We're about 4 or 5 weeks behind, but we have got your, I don't know, your email or whatever, or your form, your warranty form. So they could have done things like that. And then from some of the videos that we've done in previous times camping, we have mentioned that it wasn't working properly. And then from that we have had people contact us and say that they've had issues with theirs, but they bought theirs from a reseller, so it was easier to deal with the reseller than deal directly with Clearview. So I imagined that it would be easier to deal with directly from Clearview at the trade show to be able to get the product. But at the end of the day, I don't think it was worth it. The money that I don't think that we saved any money by buying it at the trade show, and we definitely spent a lot more money chasing it up to get it fixed. Just in time and travel, you don't ever get those things back. We did speak to a reseller because we're looking at getting some mirrors. We did speak to a reseller, and they said that they do also have trouble dealing with Clearview. So I don't know, obviously they're you know, busy. It's, you know, maybe the lockdown, the pandemic and things like that they're just super busy. I'm not too sure, but yeah, we'll definitely think again. We've just been out looking at caravans to purchase, and we're looking at buying a new one, and it's just not about buying the new caravan and getting one product, it's also about buying into the company as well.
If you've had any experiences with Clearview, hit us up below and just give us a story. It could be good, bad or indifferent. Don't forget to go back to the start of the video if you've forgotten to answer A or B in our little tagline. That's a bit of a thing we're interested in, seeing what people's thoughts are.
We've got something special lined up, or exciting to lined up, and yeah, we're waiting on this tagline. So if you could give us some help, that would be awesome.
Like our video, share it the hell out of it. It's not what I was going to say, but definitely share it because other people will be interested, hopefully. Any comments down below and we'll get back to you. And even if it's nothing to do with the thing, you might just want to say hi. Yeah,
say hi. Definitely help us out with the tagline, please.
Have a look at our other videos. We've got one on there explaining where the title came from. Over to you, Gay.
What's the video about?
Oh, sorry.
All right. And now,
hang on.
So I got there, and then yeah, so I got there,